10.45 is the mean or the average of this data. What's the median? What is a median? Angela, what is a median?
It's the center number.
It's the center, the middle number. So then, Brendan, what is the median?
It is 9.5.
9.5. How did you get that?
So I lined them all up in like number order.
Lined them up in order from like smallest to biggest.
Yeah, and then I crossed them off for each edge, and there was a 9 and a 10, so it gives the middle of that.
Crossed them off from each edge. We found the middle. This one had two middles. So he said, well, what's the average of those? What's halfway between those? 9.5. Absolutely. Mode. Sydney, what's the mode?
The number that appears most.
That appears the most, and what is the mode? 9.
I'll hold to that.
And the range. Lily, what is the range?
It's like the difference between the smallest and the biggest.
The difference between the smallest and the biggest? Absolutely. So then, Lily, what is the range?
6.5.
6.5. Absolutely. This is the four numbers that go along with this data as far as central tendency and a review of statistics. Kenny, did you have a question?
Well, for the mean.
The mean is, we said, is the average of the data. And do we need a reminder of how to calculate the average of data? You can add all together. And divide by how many there are. Is a calculation for the average of the mean. If you already know that, you don't need to write how to calculate an average down, but if it's been a while, then that's how to calculate an average. Median, as we said, is the middle number. It's the middle point of the data. The mode, we said, is the most common. Point of data. The mode is the most common point of data. And lastly, the range is the distance between the largest and smallest point of data. A box and whiskers plot is just a, oh come on. It is just a graph or a plot come on now. It's just a graph of the grouping of data. That's all it is. We're going to look at, when we graph using a box and whiskers, we're going to look at how our data is grouped together. How the survey, how the things we measured in science, how whatever all this data is that we collected, measure how it's grouped together. Okay? To do that, we're going to need to use what's called a 5-number summary. 5-number summary is basically going to tell us 5 important things going on with the data, 5 important points, 5 important chunks of our data. And they're these 5 things. What do you think this is?
Yeah. Someone's getting shot.
What do you think MIN is? Min. What's a min? Minimum. Thank you. Minimum. Minimum. What's another word for minimum? What is the minimum?
Smallest.
Smallest. What do you think mean is? We just said it on the front side. Median. What do you think max is? Maximum. Or the largest number. Q1 and Q3. I've had like 2 people all day correctly tell me what the word for Q1 is. What do you think it is, Courtney? Quadrant 1 is, it's the right idea, but it's not the right word. It's not the right word for it. Joe? Quarter. It's, again, the same idea. It's the same as quadrant. Quarter. It is a quarter of the data, but it's not the technical word for it. We already have quadrant. We have quarter. It's along the same line. Angelo? Quarters. No. I mean, they are broken into quarters. You're in the right frame of mind, but the word is so close. You may or may not have heard this word before. Quint would be fine. What's it end with? Okay, I'll give you a hint. It ends with an aisle. Starts with a quart, ends with an aisle. Quartile.
We did it!
In fact, Q1 is the first quartile. Or the first quarter. The first 25% of the data is up until Q1, the first quartile. To find the first quartile, it's the middle of the first half of the data, or the median of the first half. Absolutely. Q3 is the third quartile. It's the middle of the second half of the data. Also the middle of the second half. And first 25, first 50, first 75%, first 100% of the data. Absolutely. Now that you've got a 5-number summary, we can make a quick and easy box and whiskers plot. To do so, take your pencil and put a dot above the number line in each of those 5 dots, each of those 5 points. So we'll put a number at 8.5, at 9, at 9.5, at 11, and at 15. Okay. The box of the box and whiskers plot goes around Q1 and Q3. So draw a box around Q1 and Q3. Okay. Draw a box around Q1 and Q3. Divide the box in 2 pieces through the median. Divide the box in 2 pieces through the median. And then the whiskers part of the box and whiskers goes from the edge of the box out to the maximum and minimum. Okay? So you should have percentage of people with 9 or less. Let's look at our box and whisker chart. Here's 9 and less is this way. How many chunks are 9 or less? 1. So how much percent of people in the survey are 9 or less? 25%. What percentage of people surveyed are 9.5 or more? Here's 9.5. How many chunks are more than 9.5? 2. So what percent?
50.
50%. What percentage of people surveyed have shoe sizes between 9 and 11? We answered that. 9 and 11, there's half of them. Or 50%. 9 and 11, there's half of them. Okay.
Wait, how can there be shoes on that?